Tim, what's up, brother?
What's up, my man?
So June 11th, you had that big downdraft. It was a Thursday in the market. The S&P closed, I think, the right side of 3,000. I think 3,004, give or take. And then over the next couple weeks, had a huge move back to the upside, only to see it give it all back effectively on Friday. Today, the market tested that 3,000 level. I think it dipped below maybe 29.95, and then just went ballistic the rest of the day. So despite the fact that the COVID news seemingly continues to get worse, states closing down or shutting down or ratcheting back, again, whatever verbiage you want to use, you got to be impressed by the broader market's action today. Not only the S&P 500, but in some specific names like Facebook, which we talked about last week, and obviously Boeing was a huge name today.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like fighting back when you're down 0-2 to at least get a full count, and it feels like the market, although it's making lower highs, and effectively has done that now since the beginning of June when it set those levels. It's doing it while the economic data is first of all, you obviously are going to get a bounce off of those extreme down economic prints of April. But then we look like we may even have peaked even without the virus peaking. But now, and this isn't wave 2, this is still wave 1 of the virus that we're seeing creating really sad and scary conditions in other parts of the country. So the market's doing a yeoman-like job, but the charts tell you that I think it wants to test that 3,000 level. If you look at an overlay of the U.S. versus Europe on COVID cases, it's pretty extraordinary. And I realize that Europe may have peaked earlier, and I obviously we were watching the peak in Italy as being a point in which markets actually were getting some momentum from that, even though we hadn't gotten there yet in this country. But Europe off of its peak has really flatlined. We haven't hit our peak, and so that's something I think markets really do need to pay attention to. The other thing is the Fed, right? We got some data today about what corporate bonds the Fed was going to buy. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I like to ask you questions. Why does the Fed need to buy Apple's debt? What's so funny about me? Do I amuse you? Am I a clown? What is it?
I don't know. I can't. I wish I could answer that question. I can't. I saw that and I just sort of shook my head. I think it's innocuous and benign enough where they don't necessarily have to explain themselves. There's not a lot of risks associated with that. I think maybe it's just to prove that the program is in effect and it works. I don't have any really good answer for you other than the fact that it leaves me sort of scratching my head as well. I mean, if this is a program you want to put in place, to me, the last issuance is going to be off of Apple, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't get it. And then we got some data on their ETF holdings. So month over month, they now hold $6.8 billion of ETFs and 1.3 billion month over month. At one point, that was about 20% high yield, and it's now about 11% high yield. So they're buying. They've done maybe some of their stronger disproportionate work on high yield debt, last month. But yeah, look, until the Fed gets out of the way, it's extraordinary. I was listening to these comments also from Powell today. I don't know actually where they came from, but these comments that the Fed, is got this extraordinary toolbox, and I won't touch that one. Yes, they do, and that they're going to exit extraordinary measures when the time comes. But the Fed has never exited extraordinary measures. It took them a very, very painful 2.5 years to decide that they'd gone too far in terms of taking liquidity out of markets. And I'm talking about really, remember that rate cut in December 2015, the first one since the crisis. So it was 7 or 8 years at that point. And then we kind of stumbled through. Anyway, I have no confidence the Fed is going to remove the excess stimulus, and I have no confidence right now that the government isn't going to write checks to oblivion just to cement their power base. So if I'm a market participant, and again, look at stocks like Best Buy, look at the place where these stimulus checks have gone. I think they're going to go higher. I'm not betting against them.
No, nor should you. And you've been steadfast in that. You've been right. And but quickly, Spicoli's father had an awesome set of tools as well, and that didn't work out particularly fantastic for Forrest Whitaker at all, if you recall.
No. I mean, well, there's an issue there though, because people on ludes should not drive. But his dad, I believe, had a primo set of tools, and he could fix it. I could fix it.
Yeah, but they wound up doing is I know you remember this. I mean, they didn't fix it. What they did was they sort of bait and switched the whole thing, and they devastated the car, put some graffiti on it, and got Forrest Whitaker all riled up.
Jefferson was pissed.
Football game, and
I think he dominated. I think he definitely made the opposing QB feel the pain of the, let's call it, I don't know what to call it,
of his anger, his vitriol towards the opposing school. And I think that's what the Fed is doing now. They realize they can't fix it, so they're just going to piss everybody off. And I think they're successful. They said they're going to put their tools back in the toolbox at the right time. No, they're not.
I've got a trivia question for you. Because I'm sick of talking about the Fed. What song was playing when Jennifer Jason Leigh was with the audio salesman dude on the baseball field?
Jackson Brown's a Jackson Brown song. Is that correct? I just can't think of the song.
Yeah. So what was going on down there? And this is a family show. This is a family show.
Without getting into great detail, I mean, there was not good. Let's put it this way: there were not good things going on in the Dutch. Right.
She's gonna be somebody's
baby tonight.
Boom, just like that. You're good.
I'm a big Jackson Brown fan, by the way. I never saw him. I saw him a few years ago at the Morristown Community Theater. He was solo, just him and his acoustic guitar. FYI.
That's a good show. I saw him 2 times on the Holdout tour with my older sister, who's a huge Jackson Brown fan. I had some Jackson Brown game, but I got really kind of bummed out at the Daryl Hannah move. I don't know why, but I feel like that I never really got it back after that.
Well, hopefully we'll get it back tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Hey, folks, so we're 65, 70 episodes in, and the feedback has been tremendous. So retweets, likes, comments, put it out there. We'll try to respond to everything, but we do appreciate all you guys and gals watching.
No, love it. Keep the love, but keep the communication coming, and let us know what you guys want to talk about, because it's not always going to be about Guy's haircut. So thank you.
God.